Imagine waking up in a city that will no longer exist tomorrow. You do not know this, of course. To you, that's another morning of carts rattling over stone. Another morning of bread baking in brick ovens, water splashing from public fountains, and neighbors arguing through open windows. The mountain rising beyond the city walls has always been there. It is part of the landscape. A dark, green-covered ridge standing silently above the farms, vineyards, and villas of Campania. You have seen it every day of your life. You do not know its name as a volcano. You do not know that beneath it, pressure has been building. You do not know that before the next sunrise, the streets beneath your feet will be buried under meters of pumice and ash. And you certainly do not know that almost 2,000 years from now, strangers will walk through the remains of your home. They will examine the bowls on your table. They will read the writing scratched into your walls. They will study the food left inside your oven. They may even find the hollow space where your body once lay. But for now, you are alive, and your final day begins like any other. It is sometime in AD 79. The exact date will one day be debated by historians, but that means nothing to you. You wake shortly after sunrise in a small room near one of Pompeii's busier streets. The room is not large. It contains a sleeping mat, a wooden chest, a small oil lamp, and a few personal belongings. Your clothes smell faintly of smoke, sweat, and yesterday's work. Privacy is something enjoyed mainly by the wealthy. For ordinary people, life is lived close to others. You hear neighbors moving behind thin walls. A child begins crying. Someone coughs repeatedly in the room above you. From the street comes the familiar grinding sound of wooden wheels passing over stone. The city is already awake. You stand, stretch your stiff back, and wash your face with a little water from a basin. There is no private bathroom. There is no tap beside your bed. There is no plumbing system quietly carrying waste away from every home. Pompeii does possess an impressive network of aqueduct-fed fountains, public baths, and drainage channels, but access to comfort depends greatly on wealth. For many residents, water must still be collected and carried. You step outside. Warm morning light falls across the buildings. Pompeii is not the pale, colorless ruin that future visitors will see. It is bright. Walls are painted red, yellow, black, and blue. Shop signs hang above entrances. Political messages cover public surfaces. Names, insults, declarations of love, and advertisements have been scratched or painted wherever there is space. Candidates ask for votes. Businesses advertise their services. Someone has written something obscene beside a doorway. Someone else has tried to erase it. The streets smell of bread, animals, smoke, wine, human waste, and damp stone. It is not one smell, but many, layered together. Pompeii is busy, crowded, and alive. Around you, enslaved workers carry baskets and jars. Craftsmen open workshops. Women arrange goods for sale. Children weave between adults. A mule refuses to move while its owner shouts and pulls at the rope. The stone road is uneven beneath your sandals. Raised stepping stones cross it at intervals, allowing pedestrians to avoid mud and dirty water collecting below. Cartwheels have traveled these streets so many times that deep grooves have formed in the stone. Your day begins with food. Breakfast is simple. Perhaps a piece of bread, perhaps a little cheese, perhaps dates, olives, or something left from the previous evening. If you are poor, there is little variety. If you are fortunate, you might buy hot food from one of the counters opening along the street. Large clay jars are built into some of these counters. They contain food, wine, or other goods. You do not think of this as ancient life. You do not feel as though you belong in history. To you, the Roman Empire is modern. Its roads cross enormous distances. Its ships fill the Mediterranean. Its armies guard frontiers far beyond anything you have seen. The emperor rules from Rome. Taxes are collected. Letters travel between cities. Goods arrive from distant provinces. Olive oil comes in heavy amphorae. Wine is stored and transported. Spices, fish sauce, grain, pottery, and cloth pass through markets. The world feels organized, permanent, civilized. Your city has temples, baths, theaters, taverns, workshops, and an amphitheater. It has wealthy villas decorated with mosaics and painted gardens. It also has crowded rooms occupied by laborers, migrants, freed people, and enslaved families. It is a place of luxury and hardship living side by side. You begin walking toward your work. Perhaps you assist inside a bakery. Perhaps you work in a textile workshop. Perhaps you carry goods for a merchant. Perhaps you serve in the home of a wealthy family. For today, imagine that you work near a bakery. The heat inside is already uncomfortable. Large stone mills stand in the work area. Grain is poured into the upper sections and ground between heavy surfaces. Some mills are turned by animals. Others may be worked by people whose lives are not their own. Flour settles over everything. It clings to hair, skin, and clothing. Nearby, dough is being prepared and shaped. The oven has been burning since before dawn. Bread is essential to the city. It must be produced every day. Customers expect it. Workers require it. Households depend on it. No one knows that some of the loaves prepared this morning will remain in an oven for nearly 2,000 years. No one knows that they will be found blackened and hardened, their shapes still visible beneath the volcanic material. You simply work. The hours pass. At first, nothing appears unusual. Pompeii has experienced earthquakes before. A major one damaged the city years earlier, and repairs are still visible in some buildings. Smaller tremors are familiar. Cups shake. Doors rattle. Animals become restless. People pause for a moment and then continue with their business. The ground beneath this region has never been perfectly still. So when you feel a light vibration beneath your feet, you hardly react. A jar shifts on a shelf. Dust falls from part of the wall. Someone makes a joke. Someone complains about the poor construction of the building. Then the work continues. That is one of the cruelest details of disasters. Warnings rarely arrive in a form that clearly announces what is coming. They appear as ordinary inconveniences. A strange smell. A trembling floor. An animal behaving badly. A distant noise. A cloud where no cloud should be. Until the moment when all those small signs become impossible to ignore. By late morning, the city is fully active. In the Forum, people conduct business beneath public buildings and statues. Officials discuss local matters. Merchants negotiate. Petitions are made. Debts are remembered. Promises are broken. At the public baths, attendants heat rooms and prepare water. Roman bathing is not simply a matter of cleaning the body. It is social. People exercise, talk, argue, gossip, and conduct business. A visit can move through rooms of different temperatures. There may be warm rooms, hot rooms, and cold pools. Oil can be rubbed onto the skin and scraped away with a curved tool. Elsewhere, wealthy households prepare meals. Enslaved cooks work in cramped kitchens filled with smoke. In dining rooms, couches wait for guests. Painted walls display gods, heroes, animals, landscapes, and imagined gardens. Some homes contain small shrines where household gods receive offerings. People ask these gods for protection, for good business, for fertility, for health, for safety during travel. Perhaps someone makes an offering that morning. Perhaps they ask the gods to keep their family safe. Perhaps they look toward the mountain without understanding that the danger is already beneath it. Then, sometime around the middle of the day, someone points upward. At first, you do not see what has frightened them. The sky is still bright. The buildings still stand. The street remains crowded. But beyond the rooftops, above the mountain, something is growing. A dark column is rising into the sky. It does not drift gently like smoke from a kitchen fire. It climbs, higher and higher. A dense mass pushes upward with astonishing force. From a distance, it resembles an enormous tree. A narrow trunk rising from the mountain before spreading outward into a vast crown. Across the Bay of Naples, the young Roman Pliny will later describe a similar shape. But you have no language for what you are witnessing. You stare. Everyone stares. The normal sounds of the street begin to fade. Conversation slows. Workers leave their shops. People gather in doorways. Some climb stairs or rooftops for a better view. At first, there may even be curiosity. The mountain is far enough away to feel separate. The cloud is extraordinary, but it is also fascinating. You have never seen anything like it. A few people insist that it is a large fire. Others suggest that the gods are sending a sign. Someone says that it will pass. Someone else tells everyone to return to work. Then the first material begins to fall. Small pale pieces strike the roofs. They bounce against stone. They land in the street. At first, the sound is gentle, almost like heavy rain. You pick up one of the pieces. It is surprisingly light. A fragment of pumice, full of holes, born from violently expanding gas inside the mountain. You do not know this. To you, it is simply a strange stone falling from the sky. More pieces begin to descend.